when the wheels start spinning at the Motordrome. Fun and excitement for all the family. Newcastle International Motordrome. Champions are home at the Motordrome. Newcastle International Motordrome. Where all the action is. The rubber is burning. The track comes alive. The motors are revving. It's heavy metal heaven, and they're ready to roar. Fun and excitement for all the family. Newcastle International Motordrome. Champions are home at the Motordrome. Newcastle International Motordrome. Where all the action is. The champions are charging. But the challenger is hot. It's the battle of wills. It's the frills and spills. It's the Motordrome. Fun and excitement for all the family. Newcastle International Motordrome. Champions are home at the Motordrome. Newcastle International Motordrome. Where all the action is. Newcastle International Motordrome. Ooh, yeah. Newcastle. Newcastle. Newcastle International Motordrome.
Thank you very much, everyone, and welcome to the arena, the Winds Newcastle Motordrome, for the presentation of our first international Super Sedan test match for Nbn Television between Australia and the United States. Let me introduce the two teams that are lining up for the respective countries. I know we've got a lot of Aussie support here tonight, have we not? So let's get right behind this Australian team to captain the side tonight. He's the New South Wales state champion, John Pine. John, welcome to the Motordrome tonight, and a big job to do for the Australian team. A brand new track surface, 4 team cars hitting it out for the first time against 4 Americans, one of them an unknown quantity. What's the plan?
Go fast, go hard and win.
All right, well, we'll see if you can do that tonight. You've been in super form in the first few meetings. Now it's test match racing, but it's something that you're not new to.
Oh no, we love test match racing, Ross, and looks like Peter's give us one hell of a track. Last few weeks we had a problem with it, but looks like tonight Merv's done a great job. If the water can stay in the track, I think we're going to get some 2-car team racing, and I reckon it's going to be one hell of a night.
We're looking forward to it. Good luck later on. We'll call you back for the toss in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, he'll drive the number 4 car representing Australia tonight. He too has been in dynamic form. Stu Robertson. Stu, come on over. Let me congratulate you not only on your early season form, but your selection in the test match side tonight. I know you love this test match racing.
Yes, very much, Ross. I think I'm the only Australian car here, by the look of it. A typical...
Go the Falcons.
Yeah, good Ford owner. But we got a new team and this new track here and new sponsors, and we're going to really go hard tonight, and we'll beat these Americans. No hands, no... they're all about it, anyway.
Good on you, Stewie. Good luck tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, he's the current Australian champion from Newcastle, the number 1, Ron Pine. Ron, congratulations on selection in the team. You are the current Australian champion, but it's those sorts of titles that I think go out the window tonight because it's down to test match racing.
Yeah, it sure is. I just can't get over this track surface. I think we're really going to have, like John said, some good teams racing tonight, because if we can get the cars to run side by side, this big crowd here tonight, and I congratulate Peter because they will deserve some good racing and they will get it.
Okay, Ron Pine, our current Australian champ. He's going to drive car number 6 tonight, ladies and gentlemen. He's a guy who's certainly found form in recent weeks here in Newcastle. He'll do a top point scoring job. John Brown. John's been driving 2 divisions regularly here at the Motordrome, the modified rods and the Super Sedans, but it's Super Sedan time tonight. Congratulations on your test selection.
Thank you very much, Ross.
You've been going very well in recent weeks. The car's just seemingly getting right on the mark. I'd say you'd be ready to score some points for the Aussie side tonight.
Yeah, it's been a little while since I've done this match racing, but I think it's time we got our finger out and did a bit.
All right, good luck tonight, John. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our visitors. This is their first hit out of their Australian tour for 1995-96, so let's make them most welcome. He's back as Captain America. He'll drive the number 1 tonight, John Soares. John, welcome back to Newcastle. It's great to have you.
Oh, it's always fun to come here. It's something different every time.
Well, we certainly did have something different last time. 3 test matches. You Americans toured the country up and down our east coast. Only 1 test match was lost. It was here at Newcastle. Controversial circumstances in the last lap. I know you'll want to make a clean sweep this year.
Well, we'd like to do that, but we've put another new team together, and we got some new fellas. We thought that the fans would like to see some new talent, so we decided to bring some new guys on board. And Scott and Stevie, I guess Stevie's going to come back and run here a few shows in another car, I guess in the Steve Smith's car. But we decided that we needed to bring some more guys in and give a few more people a chance at this thing. Win, lose, or draw, that we're going to try something. I think that we proved our point in the last 4 years that we could put a team together that could come over here and win. But I think it got a little lopsided there, and we wanted to bring the thing a little closer together, so we're going to try some new guys and see what happens.
All right, good luck tonight. I'll call you back for the toss in a moment.
Well, thank you very much.
And a big welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. He's always welcome here. He'll drive the number 2 car tonight, Charlie Schwartz. Welcome back, Charlie, and I do get the chance to call you senior tonight.
Yeah, we brought Junior. He's not drove a whole lot, but he does pretty good at home, for no more than he's drove. So we thought we'd give him a shot at it and try to make things a little more equal this year. Hate to put it that way, but it was kind of lopsided last year. And but we're going to have a strong team anyway. And as we progress through the series, Junior should get a lot better as we go. And when he gets used to these things, 'cause he's never drove anything like these cars, and he's going to have to get used to them. But we should have a strong team.
Now, you and I had a little bit of disagreement last year because I reckoned it was the best you'd driven for some time. You scored some very important points for the American team in their impressive victories here.
No, that wasn't the best I drove for a long time. It's usually I sit back in the back seat here when we're having car problems and let the younger guys drive because, I want them to, show the crowd what they can do and stuff. And, I just know they already know what I can do, and I don't have to prove it. And, so I just sat back and let the younger guys drive, and I enjoy watching them,
Great to have you back. Good luck tonight.
Well, I'm glad to be here, but, I just wanted to say one thing. I just hope Ron Pine stays on the racetrack a little bit tonight because I've heard all season so far the only time he's been on is when he's crossed it.
All right, okay. A little bit of advice for Ron, which he's no doubt taken on hand. A big welcome back to Australia, ladies and gentlemen. It was a couple of seasons ago he was here, but he will drive the USA number 3 car tonight. A big welcome back to Bert Cheatham. Bert, welcome back to Australia. You have been here before, and it's nice to have you back.
Well, it's good to be back. I was looking forward to having a good evening, but unfortunately my car suffered a minor opening night bug, and I'll be rotating in and out of other cars.
So some early problems, huh?
Yeah, just something minor in the engine. We have a spare engine, so there's no problem really with getting the car going for the rest of the meets, but not tonight.
And how about your season back in the States? Have you been campaigning?
Well, haven't been doing a lot of racing because I've had to restructure my shop, and I've built a new house, and I've been working a lot of hours on my job.
All right, well, good luck tonight. It's good to have you back.
Thanks a lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, what about a big welcome? Because this is his first tour down under. His dad's been here lots of times. We're going to see the young fella in action. Can he do as well? A big Newcastle welcome to Charlie Schwartz Jr. Charlie, welcome to Newcastle. It's great to have you here, and we hope you have a very successful night tonight and a happy tour. Welcome to Australia.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Pretty excited about tonight. Hope things turn out pretty good. Kind of nervous about being here, but
yeah, kind of nervous because, as Charlie has pointed out to us, not a lot of experience in this type of car.
Right. I've never been on a right-handed drive before. I'm sure it's going to be a little different.
Okay, well, these guys will test you out.
Oh, I'm sure of that.
Good luck tonight anyway.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Charlie Schwartz Jr. John Soares and John Pine, could I have you centre track here? John, I'll give you the gold $1 coin. It does have a head and a tail on it, John Soares, I can assure you of that. We'll ask John Pine to make the toss. We'll ask John Soares to do the call.
Flip it up there. Heads.
He's called a head. It has come up a tail. You've won the toss, John, so good luck to both teams. Gentlemen, good luck to Australia. Good luck to the United States. Fans, we are ready to go racing for the first Super Sedan test. Give a cheer for your favourite team. Are you an Aussie supporter? Are you an American supporter? Okay, we're going to go racing on NBN Television night tonight with the first test match. The guys will get back. We'll probably do a little, some hot laps a little later on because, as you heard, some nervous drivers down here, particularly Bert Cheatham with a car problem, Charlie Schwartz Jr. driving for the very first time. Oh, Joel, we are set for a super night of Speedway.
Yes, we certainly are, Ross, and it sounds like the Americans have got their excuses all ready for later on tonight. And
But tonight, as Joel's pointed out, we are Super Sedan racing. Joel's pointed out they've got their excuses already, but I can tell you, Joel, it's a really despondent John Soares. He wanted all 4 cars to be firing on night number 1 tonight, and it might not be the case. We're set to go racing with the Litre cars, and Kane Bailey has jumped into turn 1 ahead of Mel Guy to grab the early lead. Frank Clark holding third, but he's under a lot of pressure from Peter Challen, right behind in 4th placing. Kane Bailey, man who has struck form in recent weeks under the Rockler banner. He's got some sponsorship from one of the Rockler groups, and he leads from Mel Guy with the big CGE wing on top of the leader sprinter, and he's working hard to try and get to Kane Bailey, but not having a lot of success. Frank Clark in third, and boy, has he got a job on his hands. Peter Challen up on the outside, making a throw at him as they head down back straight away.
yes, great battle for third spot on the outside. Challen now makes the throw, but he lost a lot of ground there. Coming through on the inside, Garrett Fine managed to pick him off and grab a space. Frank Clark still holding down to third placing. A great duel going on for that third spot. The top 2 have cleared out, Kane Bailey and Mel Guy, but Buck's boxing on for the minor placings. Clark still holding down third spot. Garrett Fine now having a tussle with Challen. Challen on the outside, Kime on the inside. Challen got a little bit untidy, and Kime came through on the inside to grab that 4th spot away. It's 1 lap left to run for Kane Bailey. Second place Mel Guy, then comes Clark back into third spot, but down back straight away out of the final turn for the last time, and the first race win will go to Kane Bailey in car number 30, ahead of the 5 of Mel Guy in second spot. Third place is going to go to Clark in the 95, Kime in car 56 ahead of Challen. Then came Harris, followed by the 27 car of Kevin Begg, just ahead of the 73 car and the 39 car that crossed the line. Peter Stewart in the 73 and Mark Davidson in car number 39. A time of 1 minute 30.484. 1 minute 30.484, and the race win goes to car number 30, Kane Bailey.
Paul Cox in the 77 car has the front row of the grid. He'll be very hard to beat from that position. He's been in great form in recent weeks, and beside him on the front row of the grid, the 37 of George Winder, who did in fact win a New South Wales championship in this division some years ago. Lights are out. Away they go, and Paul Cox got away to a good start. Les Begg moved very quickly from the second row of the grid, and Reg Haynes in the white car number 2 tried quickly to pick up a couple of spots and was successful. Coming into main straight away to complete the first lap, and it's Paul Cox, our race leader, followed by Les Begg. Then the 37 car of George Winder, who was on pole position, has dropped back to second now. Well, he's dropped back to 5th place because he's been passed very, very quickly by Reg Haynes, and ahead of him in car 18 is Michael Walker. So Walker goes up to 3rd. Haynes is challenging on the outside. He's looking for 3rd. Walker on the inside. Haynes pressuring him on the outside, trying to get third placing, and they've only got 3 laps to run, so a good struggle. Haynes goes to third, and he'll chase out after Les Begg, who momentarily was hampered by a slower car, but got past him very quickly, but so too did Haynes, and there's only 2 laps to go.
Yes, Paul Cox got the lead safely in his keeping, but here comes Reg Haynes in the white number 2 car. He's out after Les Begg. In second spot in car number 8. He's getting closer and closer. He's starting to run out of laps. There's only 1.5 to go. They're starting to come up to some of the slower cars through on the inside Begg. The 41 of Rinken moves over and avoids any sort of incident. Haynes getting closer after each and every lap. He'll have a throw at him in the last turn, I'd reckon. Out of the last turn, and the 77 Cox will take it out. Look at the battle for second spot. A slower car's going to come into play. On the inside, Haynes has a throw, but Les Begg holds off into second in car number 8. Haynes comes into third, then comes Walker in car number 18 ahead of the 37 car. Next across the line, George Winder. And the last couple to come across the line, the 15 of Brendan Roots. Car number 26. Struggling across the line, bit of smoke coming out, the 41 of Rinken and the 12 of Richard Gardner. The time 1:30.419, 1 minute 30.419, the time recorded for the race winner, Paul Cox.
Now, cars in their grid group for heat number 3 of the Litre cars for Apollo batteries. On the front row of the grid is 23, Dave Harvey, and 16, Peter Eden. Or it might be the Jeff White 16. The Peter Eden's a different car, but we'll see how it goes. Coming into main straight away they go. I think it is the Jeff White car, number 16, and he has grabbed the lead. I'll call it Jeff White anyway. If I'm wrong, I'll apologise. Dave Harvey is in second place. Then the Queenslander in the 95 car, Cole White. Great to have one of our interstate drivers with us tonight. And he's holding third behind Dave Harvey. Down back straight away, and Jeff White is the man who's out in front. Starting to extend his lead, in fact. Dave Harvey under a lot of pressure from Cole White, the Queenslander, who tries to get up on the inside, coming down main straight away, looking to gained second placing. Oh, got untidy, lost control of it in turn 2 and went up onto the windrow and lost a lot of ground. So with 3 more laps to go, Jeff White has a very big race lead.
Yes, the battle's on for second spot, and a big group of cars now starting to box on that second spot. Dave Harvey in car 23. He's holding down second place ahead of the visiting Queensland driver Cole White, who's in third spot. Then we go back to fourth placing, and it's the 13 car of Ross Moody, and behind him, Jason Elborn in the black 21 car, looking for a way through. He's back in fifth spot, and he's trying to improve on that and get up to fourth position, but he's only got 1 lap left to do it. And White's got the race lead in car 16. Look at the battle for the minors. Here comes the Queensland driver, White. He moves up on the outside to try and grab that second spot away from Harvey. Harvey's still holding on. Out of the final turn now to the checkered flag. And an impressive win to the 16 of White. He takes it out. Then we come down to second place. It's going to be close, but Harvey just hangs on in car 23 ahead of the 95 of White. Then came Elborn in the 21. The 13 of Moody was next, followed by McComb. 20 of Rinken was one across the line ahead of Sean Barnett, followed by Brett Haynes. Pickering, one of the last to finish, ahead of Haddo and also Kibble and Sains. Will finish at the tail of the field, 132.823, 132.823. And the race win goes to Jeff White in car number 16.
And they will be anxious to go running. The yellow lights are flashing. Getting set for a start. Nice smooth start by Tom Wright on the outside. Greg Hodges in the black car number 6 looked to try and dive up on the inside of Robert Burke. He won't quite have the power as Burke comes back and holds second placing. Greg Hodges is third, and Peter Garrett, I think he's had a couple of test match series. It does go back a while, but Peter Garrett right round the outside is going to grab the lead. What a daring move by Garrett in the Tetra Engineering Garrett earth-moving car, and he has gone straight to the lead, showing that this clay surface does give you a 2-groove track. There's a groove down low and there's a groove up high. Peter Garrett racing away from Robert Burke, then Greg Hodges, who almost got a touch on the back of Burke. He doesn't seem to be able to pick a good line at all. Now Hodges tries to move up on the inside, then backs away. He's really finding it difficult to pick it. Now Alan Baker's got it all worked out as well, right round the high line. They know there's a race groove up there, and wow, they're finding it quickly. And I wonder if the other Australian, yes, they all are, the Australian team sitting on the infields looking at this groove up. Oh, Robert Carrick has cleaned Greg Hodges up. He hit the back end of him, in my opinion, and just knocked him out of the race.
Well, an incident in back straightaway sees Hodges in car number 6, the man in trouble. And I didn't quite catch the incident, but Ross seems to think that the 16 of Carrick may have been the man that helped Hodges onto the infield.
I mean, Greg Hodges did get his tail out a little bit, Joel, but you've got to back away from someone else's tail. Just because the tail hangs out, it's not a target for you to hit. And that, in my opinion, is what's happened, and I think the Chief Steward's seeing it the same way. Robert Carrick is going to the rear of the field, but how about this racetrack, Joel? We obviously have a two-groove racetrack now, down low and up high.
Yes, we certainly have. It's looking very promising for the test match series and also the Australian titles that will be held here in January, but certainly bedding in quite nicely. And the drivers out there at the moment, Ross, showing that you can go up high on the track, whereas in times gone by, you go for the outside move, you tended to lose a lot of ground, but the drivers are keeping the car pointed straight. Not a lot of throw and slide, as you mentioned earlier on, but they seem to be getting the bite and drive, and Baker's shown that, and so too Peter Garrett, who's shot to the race lead up high, and Baker now has moved right up to third placing. So it looks very promising for this test match series coming up very shortly.
So coming into main straight away, the green flag falls and they're running again. Peter Garrett will lead. Here's Baker making a quick move on the outside of Burke, and he's zoomed up into second place. Baker's saying, have a look at this, you test match selectors, and see if I'm not worthy for a spot if someone's off song tonight. Peter Garrett leads from Alan Baker. Then comes Robert Burke, and Greg Hodges holds fourth place from Tom Wright. But I think Baker's going to serve it right up to Garrett.
Oh, Baker's certainly got this car sorted out now. It took him a couple of meetings, but it's really on song, and he's got a battle on his hands, Peter Garrett. Baker in second spot, hounding away at the back of Garrett. He tried to go high, but Garrett drifted out and got a little bit of a touch. Now Baker might try to come through on the inside, but Garrett's quick to that too, and he shut him off pretty quickly. Oh, they came together too. Baker getting a little bit frustrated. The caution flag comes out, and it goes to Peter Garrett. Alan Baker, he won't give up. He's got like a bulldog. He keeps going and going, and round he goes, and right onto the back. Look out! Oh, whooshka! Thank you very much, John Lodge. Well, he just didn't see the incident that had occurred, and it looks like Pitt Street, Sydney, at 12 o'clock during a weekday. They've got about 6 cars piled up.
We sure do,
turn
John.
1, 2.
We've got 6 of them there. We've got Peter Garrett, Alan Baker, Greg Hodges, who copped the whack from John Lodge, Neil Wasson and Robert Carey. And Alan Baker in car 13 is going to be sent to the rear of the field. He is not going to like that. Chief Steward is saying he hooked onto the back end of the Garrett car going into the corner and didn't back away. He just kept driving. And Baker will come around. He'll get the rear of field signal from our track marshal, and he is not going to like it. But have a look at that left-hand front of his car. Into the acceleration zone with 2 laps to go.
Lights flashing, ready for a start. Hodges trying to creep up on the outside. They get the green flag this time, and it's Peter Garrett who jumps immediately to the race lead. Now here comes Hodges. Oh, he got a touch with Burke and sent him round onto the infield. And very touchy situation, but I think Hodges there might have got the touch on Burke and sent him round. and Burke's been dealt the unfair advantage, in my opinion. And onto the infield, looks like he might have some steering trouble too.
But coming into Main Straight, they're away with 2 to run.
And Peter Garrett once again leads the race. Tom Wright in second spot. John Lodge has got up to third now, ahead of Neil Wasson. Then comes Carrick in fifth spot, followed by Wagner. Up high on the fence, Alan Baker. He's trying to make up places. So too's Hickey on the inside. And coming down Main Straight away with only 1 to go. Oh, a little bit of a touch there from the 21 of Lodge. Sees Wasson go spinning onto the track. He might bring the race to a stoppage. They're coming into the final turn for the checkered flag, so they'll finish the race off. The 5 of Peter Garrett will be the race winner. Second's going to be close on the outside. I'll give it to Tom Wright in the 62 ahead of Carrick. Then came the 21 of Lodge. Alan Baker came flying through ahead of Brad Wagner, who managed to skid across the line. Then came the 88 of Starling, and Greg Hodges being one of the last cars to cross the line.
Joel, I don't know whether you saw it, but Alan Baker flew over the line. He got a clip on the rear of one of the cars. The car got airborne, and he was absolutely motoring. Look out. Alan Baker came storming home in that race. And now Greg Hodges is coming around to talk to the steward. Alan Baker's coming around to talk to the steward, saying, what the heck's going on?
I think he's wishing him a Merry Christmas.
So the street stockers are grouped up for their next hit out. What an exciting super sedan race. Gee whiz, Alan Baker, I thought he was going to land up in the front row of the main grandstand at one stage. Set to go in the street stockers. Every other group seemed to race nice and cleanly in our qualifying program, the Litre cars and the street stocks, but when the super sedans got out there, boy, did they bump and crash each other. So down back straight away, the race leader, car 77 of Gary Smith. He's a regular at the Motordrome, but he was the race leader because diving up on the inside is the car number 18 of Troy Whiting, and right round the outside goes Kevin Hopwood, the New South Wales champion in this division. He's grabbed the lead. Here's Rob Maunder, shown in your program as car number 60, I think it is, or 66. He is actually wearing the number 2 on his side of his blue Cortina, and he goes into second place. So 2 very experienced drivers in Kevin Hopwood and Rob Maunder, running 1 and 2. Troy Whiting on the inside of Gary Smith is trying to get third place with Bruce Johnson parked not far behind. He's running 5th. But Kevin Hopwood up in that looser groove, and he's getting some drive. Rob Maunder's tailing him. It will be difficult to get by him, but he'll try and make a dive at him if he can. I guess he'll just try and stay right in touch with him. And then if the opportunity comes his way, he'll make the dive at Kevin Hopwood. But Kevin Hopwood, very consistent performer. He comes down Main straight away with only 2 to go.
Yes, Kevin Hopwood leads the way, but look at the battle for the minors back in third placing. A good battle going on. Smith in the 77 holding down. Then comes Troy Whiting on the inside. Bruce Johnson now tries to make a throw to get up the 4th spot. But Whiting fights back on the outside in car 18, and he's still got Smith in his sights as they come into turn 3-4. 1 lap left to go for the race leader, Kevin Hopwood. He leads the way with Robert Maunder in second spot. Way back to third, and it's Smith in the 77. Whiting right behind in car number 18, trying to make a shot at him. And as they come out of turn 1-2, but out of the last turn for the last time, and the 1 of Kevin Hopwood is going to take the race win. He crosses the line to grab the checkered flag. Second place is going to go to Robert Maunder in car number 2. It's going to be close for third. On the inside, Whiting. On the outside, Smith grabs third away from Whiting, then followed by the 32 of Johnson. Weaver was next. The 104 of Williams ahead of Nathan Reed. One of the last to come across, Mick Bennett in car number 19, with the 72 of Mark Perrington being the last car to cross the line. 2 minutes 6.293, 2 minutes 6.293, the time recorded for your race winner, Kevin Hopwood.
And here he is doing his lap of honour. Let's give him a big cheer and get ourselves warmed up, because we are not far away from the first heat of the test match for NBN Television. The Super Sedan test between Australia and the United States, just one more race away before we get into the first bracket of heats. We have the second heat of the street stock sedans. Coming up, event 5 on your souvenir program, and it's supported by Arc Hire. Set to go and about to race in the second heat for the street stocks, and in fact they've got the green, and Dave Wright on the inside all drifted up, pushed out into that corner, badly hampered the 21 car of Alan Lear, who's dropped back to 4th place, and that allowed Peter Hopwood to come through on the inside, and car 129 Ace Whaler trying to push through on the inside of Alan Lear, but he does come back very strongly and hold down 3rd placing. So it's Dave Wright the leader. Peter Hopwood has moved into 2nd. Alan Lear runs 3rd. Then comes Ace Whaler, having a little bit of difficulty with turn 1, 2, and is dropping back off the front 3 cars and losing touch. Now keep an eye on the 122 of Mark Everly and the white car number 3 behind him of Steve West as they try to drive up into top point scoring positions. It's Dave Wright the leader, followed by Peter Hopwood. Then comes the 21 car of Alan Lear, and they are leaving a gap now between them and the rest of the runners as Mark Everly pushes his way out of the pack up to 5th place behind Ace Whaler, and now Peter Hopwood having a crack for the race lead. There's still 3 laps to go. It'll be a good run to the end.
Yes, watch out for Peter Hopwood. He's the danger. One little mistake, and there it was from Wright, but he couldn't capitalise, and now Alan Lear's starting to come in. He joins in the party in 3rd spot, and Wright seems to be drifting up a bit, leaving the door open, and Hopwood says, well, I'm going to come through there in a minute, gives him a little bit of a nudge, and he still holds down 2nd spot. Then comes Alan Lear. They've turned it into a 3-way battle up front, but Wright still holding on to the race lead. Peter Hopwood giving him all sorts of pressure in 2nd spot. Then comes the 21 of Alan Lear. Everly's cleared out into 4th spot, and then comes Steve West back in 5th place. There's only 1 lap left to run. The David Wright leads. 2nd spot, Peter Hopwood. Then comes the 21 of Alan Lear in 3rd placing. They're the 3 up front. It's still anyone's race. Back down, back straight away. Half a lap left to run. Wright looks like he's got him covered, but look out for Hopwood. He'll make one last throw at him. Into the final turn they go. He's not close enough. The 15 of Wright takes it out. Peter Hopwood 2nd in car 70, then the 21 of Lear. Everly comes across the line next ahead of the 3 of Steve West, the 129 of Whaler. Morris in the 26 car will finish ahead of Pearson. Then came Maria Edmonds and Clifford Schaefer in car 71 with the 38 of Jason Owen running into trouble in turn 3, 4, and the 23 of Baldwin will be the last to finish. 2 minutes exactly, 0.997. 2 minutes exactly, 0.997. The time recorded for event number 5, heat 2 of the street stocks, with a race winner, car number 15, David Wright. So set and ready now for the first heat, the NBN Television International Super Sedan Test number 1 between the United States and Australia. Lights start to flash, indicating a start is possible this time round to kick us off underway. They move into the acceleration zone. Nice even start. The green flag falls to, and on the outside, John Pine got away quickest. Through on the inside was John Soares. He starts to box on with him. Back into 3rd place, Charlie Schwartz drops in. It's a 3-all situation. Brownie looking to come through on the inside. John Brown now looks for 3rd place. He gets it too. Brownie up to 3rd ahead of Charlie Schwartz. That's uncharacteristic for Schwartz too. He'll come back at him though. On the inside, Schwartz. He got a good pass on him too to grab that 3-3 situation back away. And John Soares, he's in 2nd spot. He's out after John Pine. Pine leads the way. Soares in 2nd. Then comes Charlie Schwartz. John Brown back in 4th spot. But at the moment it's a 3-3 situation. Pine starting to pull away. He's going to kill the 3 points. There's only 1 lap left to go. John Pine for Australia out in front. 2nd spot Soares. Looks like he might be having a bit of trouble with that car too, starting to splutter on him. John Brown now makes a dive on the inside of Charlie Schwartz, but out of the turn for the first race win in heat number 1. Australia's John Pine. He takes it out. He wins the first heat ahead of John Soares for the United States. And then came Charlie Schwartz after a slow start to pick off 3rd placing. John Brown for Australia failed to score any points. 1 minute 1. 0.512, 1 minute 1. .512 in a 3-all situation after heat number 1.
Yeah, let's have a look at our NBN Television Scoreboard. For the Australian team, John Pine has scored 3 points. For the American team, USA 1, John Soaries 2 points. USA 2, Charlie Schwartz 1 point. And the driver failing to score a point was John Brown. Try as he may, a good comeback drive by Charlie Schwartz and some good protection offered to his teammate John Soaries, who Joel pointed out may have just been suffering a little bit of engine problem. So it was 3 to the Australians and 3 to the United States. So after heat 1, we have a scoreboard that shows Australia 3, the United States 3. Grouping up for race number 2. Australia's got to get into the pole position. That'll be taken by Ron Pine, Charlie Schwartz Senior, Charlie Schwartz Junior, and Stu Robertson are the 4 drivers who are going to race out heat number 2 with the scoreboard locked up after heat 1, Australia 3, the USA 3.
Ron Pine will be looking to get away quick here to see if Stewie Robbo can slot into a 3rd spot. Ready for action. They start to accelerate. Not a bad line too, and they get the green flag on the outside. Charlie Schwartz Senior, he grabs the race lead as they go into turn 1, 2. Ron Pine a little slow to get away. Stu Robertson starting to give him the hurry up. Back in 3rd placing. Oh, Schwartz went a little bit wide. Ron Pine had a chance to come through on the inside, but he wasn't quite quick enough. He wasn't close enough to Schwartz to grab that opportunity. Back in 3rd spot, Stu Robertson tailed right off his Charlie Schwartz Jr. He's back at the tail of the field, but it's the senior, Charlie Schwartz Senior in the US 2. He's substituting in this one. He's, oh no! Ron Pine's gone right in front of Stu Robertson. Can he get back on the track? Stu Robertson tries to get back ahead of Charlie Schwartz Jr. Oh, he bit in and nearly went over. Now the interesting battle to see whether Stewie can get up ahead of Charlie Schwartz Jr. On the inside now, he's going to come at him. Charlie Schwartz Sr. leads away. Ron Pine, here comes Stewie on the, oh, he give him a touch. He nearly sent him round, going down main straight away. He frightened himself, Charlie Schwartz Jr. Up onto the infield, out of turn 3, 4 for the last time. And Charlie Schwartz Sr. for the United States, he grabs the race win ahead of the Australia number 1, Ron Pine. Then comes Stewie Robbo in car number 4 in 3rd placing, and a very shaky Charlie Schwartz Jr. back in 4th place. Takes the checkered flag, 1 minute 3.327, 1 minute 3.327, and Charlie Schwartz Sr. killing the 3 points for the USA.
And didn't he need to? And Stu Robertson, I think, almost went to sleep there. He did get crossed up and onto the infield, and I think he was sort of thinking, well, that's it. Then he suddenly realised, hey, I've got to get back in this car race and try and nail a point. And luckily he did. So let's have a look at the NBN Television Scoreboard from Heat 2. We had USA 2, Charlie Schwartz in his 2nd drive, score 3 points. Australia 1, Ron Pine, scoring 2 points for the Australian team. Australia 4, Stu Robertson scoring 1 point. And the USA number 4 driver, Charlie Schwartz Jr., failing to score in his opening drive, but he did start to tend to put down a couple of better laps in that race, so he'll get better as the night goes on. But it was, again, a 3-all situation from that heat. 3 to America and 3 to Australia. So, at the end of Heat 2, nobody has been able to establish a break. It's Australia 6 and the United States 6. So there's no substitution here. They're substituting a car but not a driver, which makes no difference to the substitution rule. Stand by for heat number 3.
Ready for a race start. Australia got a good chance to grab some points. They get the green flag too, and John Pine got away quickest on the outside. Getting into 2nd spot was Cheatham in car 4, then comes Soares. Ron Pine tail off at the back of the field. Ron Pine's going to have to get himself up into 3rd spot for Australia if they want to kick away. Oh, he got a little touch there with Soares. He tried to come through on the inside, but there was no room there. So it's a 3-all situation. John Pine out in front for Australia. Second spot, Bert Cheatham. He's going fairly well in second placing. Then comes John Soares, followed by Ron Pine back at the tail of the field. He's going to have to try and get within striking distance, but he has trouble handling that car. He has all season, and he is again here tonight. John Pine, the race leader, starts to kick away from the field. Second place, Bert Cheatham. He can't keep up with Piney. Then comes Soares, and Ron Pine tailed right off at the back of the field. He's not within scoring situation at the moment. 1 lap left to go. John Pine's going to have to kill the 3 points here for Australia. Down back straight away. Oh, he's got class stamped all over him, John Pine, this season. Down to the line for heat number 3, and the win goes Australia. New South Wales 1. John Pine, he takes it out. Then came second place was the United States 3, Bert Cheatham, ahead of John Soares in the USA number 1, and Ron Pine, unfortunately, not being able to capitalise and try and get Australia to an advantage. 1 minute 1.970 the time recorded, and once again a 3-3 situation.
Well, a very unhappy Ron Pine, I would think. That car is still not handling properly for him. As we pointed out during the call of that race, he's had a lot of problems this season. The pit crew have raced straight to Ron Pine to see what the problems may be. Let's have a look at our NBN scoreboard after heat number 3, where the New South Wales number 1, representing Australia tonight, John Pine, 2 starts and 2 wins. He scored 3 points. Good drive by the United States driver Bert Cheatham in his first hit out to score 2 points, USA 3. And USA 1, John Soares, scored 1 point, with the current Australian champion Ron Pine failing to score. So again, it was a 3-3 result from the heat as far as points were concerned, and our overall tally is still locked up. Still no team able to make a break on the scoreboard. It's Australia 9, the USA 9.
And it looks like it might be Charlie Schwartz Sr. and Bert Cheatham making a substitution for Charlie Schwartz Jr. Lights are flashing. Ready for a start in heat number 4. 9-all the situation on the Hunter Communications scoreboard. Let's see if the Aussies can break away here and grab a 4-2 situation. Ready for the start. No start this time. Brownie got away a little bit too quick. Yellow light comes on.
Hey, guys, woo up there!
America's seen the opportunity. While the yellow light's on, they might be able to sneak away. But no such luck.
You're right, Joel. It's Cheatham who was really fired up. And he could be the difference here tonight, Cheatham. He could be the thorn in the Aussie side, preventing them to get this break that they're so desperately looking for.
Seems like the American tactics are at the moment are just to get that 3 points, whether they get it with the win or the second and third. Australia have got the work cut out for them. See if John Brown can pounce on this race start. Ready this time. Brownie playing a little bit of cat and mouse. Now he steps on the gas. They go into turn 1-2. John Brown on the outside. Cheatham, though, got the power on the outside. He went straight around Brownie, and Stu Robertson's having a little bit of trouble with Charlie Schwartz at the back of the pack. Schwartz on the inside. Stu Robertson on the outside. He'll come back at him, and he grabs third spot. John Brown, he's starting to get in the way. Oh, there goes Cheatham, very high on the track. Brown through on the inside as he saw a gap, but it was closed off very quickly. Cheatham leads the way. John Brown in second spot. He's drifting high, Cheatham. He's giving Brown the shot on the inside. Then comes Stu Robertson, still sitting back in third spot, followed by Charlie Schwartz. He's gone. Charlie Schwartz, he'll sit there. He'll probably sit in the corner there and bring it to a stop. Out in front, Cheatham. Then comes Brownie through on the inside. Going to grab him. Oh, but he's going to bring it to a stop, and the gamble's paid off for Schwartz. Whoa. I think he could see that John Brown was slowly but surely getting Cheatham, because Cheatham's persisting with that high line.
I tell you what, Jolo, that was a gamble, because there was only one to go. Charlie took the gamble of bringing the race to a stop with his team driver in front. Now the chief steward has called for a single file restart. And we'll go back to the previous lap with Cheatham in front, Brown second, Robertson third, and Schwartz fourth. So a deliberate race stoppage, whilst it might have meant that John Brown would be up beside Bert Cheatham. Remember, that would also allow Charlie Schwartz to be up beside Stu Robertson and grab that extra point. So not a bad call by the official, actually.
Ready for the restart in the acceleration zone. Cheatham steps on the gas. Brownie's going to have to try and get him. The green flag falls. Cheatham decides he's going to clear out from the rest of the field. John Brown in second spot for Australia. Then comes Stu Robertson killing the 3 points in third spot. And Charlie Schwartz Sr. back at the tail of the field. 1 lap left to go. Cheatham's cleared out. John Brown in second's not close enough to make a throw at him. Cheatham likes to drift very high in the corners, then slingshot out. Down back straight away. It looks like it's going to be a United States win, and it's going to go to Bert Cheatham. He's high on the track. He comes down right across in front of Brownie, who finishes in second. Third place to Stu Robertson, and failing to score Charlie Schwartz, and it looks like that back tyre might be flat too on the Schwartz car. The right-hand rear tyre on Charlie Schwartz has gone flat. So a race win once again to the United States. Bert Cheatham, he grabs and kills the 3 points. No time recorded due to the race stoppage, but another 3-all situation.
Well, that would have had to have been an official substitution by Cheatham. So it was Bert Cheatham first for the United States, scoring 3 points for the Americans. Second place to John Brown for Australia, and 2 points. That'll make him happy. He's on the scoreboard. And Stu Robertson for Australia, 1 point. And no points scored for Charlie Schwartz in USA number 2. Now, on our points scoreboard, that was a 3-all heat, 3 to Australia and 3 to the United States. And so the scoreboard reads Australia 12, the United States 12, and a bit of a gamble in that heat taken by Charlie Schwartz has paid off. Now, the track crew are indicating to him, to Charlie Schwartz that is, that he has right-hand rear tyre flat. I think he's aware of that fact and is coming in now.
And here comes Charlie Schwartz Sr. onto the track to make up the 4 cars for our second last heat in our first 6 heats of racing. The scores are all locked up. 12 points all. And it will be Bert Cheatham in the United States number 4 car. Charlie Schwartz Sr. in United States 2 go against John Brown in car number 6 for Australia. And the Australian champ Ron Pine in car number 1. See if Ron has sorted out those few problems. He's going to have to try and go with Schwartz from the start. Lights flashing. Ready for a start this time round. Heat number 5. The NBN USA versus Australia test number 1. In the acceleration zone, not a bad looking start either. Schwartz got away quickest on the inside. Oh, the other American driver, Cheatham, came up quickly, but John Brown came through on the inside, so it's a 3-all situation. Ron Pine, he's got to get up with Charlie Schwartz Sr., who leads the way. Second place is Ron Pine, then comes John Brown. Oh, Cheatham got into a little bit of trouble and got balked, and he dropped off some placing right back at the tail of the field. But it's still Charlie Schwartz Sr. He's going to kill the 3 points, as Ross and I said. Second spot is Ron Pine, then comes John Brown. They're going to have to try and throw everything, but he's got a nice smooth line, Charlie Schwartz. You've got to admire his driving talent. He really is a great driver behind the wheel, and he's starting to pull away. Second spot goes to Ron Pine, then comes John Brown, followed by Bert Cheatham, who's going to try and sneak that extra point in. Only 1 lap left to go, and it's all Charlie Schwartz Sr. Ron Pine in second, then comes John Brown, followed by Bert Cheatham, who's trying desperately to make it a 4-2. He'll have one last crack at him. Into the final turn, it's going to be Charlie Schwartz, United States number 2. Second place will go to Ron Pine. Brownie holds on for third, just ahead of the fast finishing Bert Cheatham, who crosses the line in 4th place, making it another 3-3 situation in a time of 1 minute 2.925. 1 minute 2.925. The race time recorded for the winner, Charlie Schwartz Sr., making it another 3-all.
Well, take yourself a bit of a break, Joel, from the race action. Get a Coca-Cola as we check the Nbn Television Scoreboard after Heat 5. USA 2, Charlie Schwartz scored 3 points for the Americans, whilst for Australia, Australia's Ron Pine scored 2 points and John Brown scored 1 point to make their team total 3. The driver just missing out on scoring a point was the USA 3, Bert Cheatham. He failed to score. So again, a 3-all situation from Heat 5. And the scoreboard reads Australia 15, the United States 15. Now the Australians are starting to play some sensible tactics. They know the Americans are under pressure with cars and the problems they're having, so get some cars on the racetrack and put the pressure on. And that's just what they've done. John Pine and Stu Robertson are out. They have been the top 2 cars consistency-wise right through this season at the Motordrome. Here is the gun opportunity for Australia to sneak the break they've been looking for. Come on, Aussies, let's cheer for these 2 guys, John Pine and Stewie Robertson. Wow, this is it. The pressure right on the Americans. The scoreboard locked at Australia and the United States 15 all. Stand by for heat number 6.
This could be where we move away. Ready for a start. Oh, Stewie Robbo was keen to get away and they got the green. Stewie Robertson will lead into the first turn. Oh, look at Charlie Schwartz Sr. He's put his own man in the fence. Well, oh, he's going to park it there too, Soaries. He's not an idiot, that's for sure. But, geez, look at Charlie Schwartz Jr. He's gone crazy. He wiped his own player out. He just came barrelling through. Well, Ross, I think he's decided to shake the nervousnesses away and just plant the foot and go flat stick, but it's backfired on him because he's managed to clip the United States captain Soares and put him into the wall. But Soares, he just threw it sideways and brought the red light on. And a situation in turn 1-2, and I think they might be a little bit worried about this heat, Ross.
They are worried about the heat, but I think he's been given the right advice. You know, they've said to him, all right, you've shaken away the butterflies in the first race, now go for it. You know you can drive these race cars, so show us your talent. And the young guy had a go, and did he have a go?
And Charlie's come out and just said, just back off a little bit.
Yeah, Charlie Sr.'s giving him the advice to just take it easy, but he's got to go position 4, being sent to the rear of the field. Now this might be difficult because on this new clay surface, he might get a good drive up on that second groove. What an exciting heat we've got. The Nbn Television International Super Sedan first test reaches the halfway mark. The scores are locked together on the scoreboard. Australia 15, the United States 15, and we're set for heat number 6. It's going to be a cracker.
Watch for Piney to come through with Stu Robertson. The green flag falls. Stewie was a little bit slow to get away. Soares threw it into the turn. Robertson on the inside. Oh, Soares had the power on the outside and he went to the race lead, but Stewie stuck with him. Robertson in second spot. Then comes John Pine. Charlie Schwartz Jr.'s way out of it, but Soares, he's on fire tonight. He's got the car firing. Stu Robertson can't get close enough to him to make a throw for this race lead. So Soares leads. Oh, down back straight away he balked. Stewie comes through on the inside. He saw a bit of an opening, but Soares shut him off nicely. He came through out of turn 3-4 with a nice line, and he holds the race lead.
He's got to keep his cool, Joel.
Oh, there goes Charlie Schwartz Jr.
Get off, Charlie,
He's
get
passed
off!
it on the track, and it'll bring it to a stoppage. Well, this is what the Aussies wanted, another restart, but I think it might be single file.
Yeah, well, it might be, but, you know, I tell you what, John Soares was losing his cool, which is why I sort of mentioned it to you during the call. He just seemed to be drifting up each lap, and Stewie Robertson was going to nail him, so perhaps the Schwartz stalling incident in turn 4 may be a blessing to Soares, because now he'll settle down. I don't know that it'll be a 2-lane restart. I'll check with the officials, because you've got all the action, Joel, with this very exciting and tense heat number 6. Look at the pit crews on the infield. They're virtually glued to the racetrack. They know the scores are locked together. They wonder what the heck is going to happen.
Charlie Schwartz Jr. is virtually glued to the racetrack as well. He can't get out of that spot. He's the push car coming across. It will be a single file restart. He's having trouble sorting this car. He's never driven this sort of car before, and he's got handling troubles. Now he gets going. In the acceleration zone they come, looking for the start. He's keen to get up on the inside. They come out of the turn and the green flag falls, but Soares had a good line. Soares leads into the first turn. Stu Robertson in second spot. John Pine back in third place. Soares starts to kick away down back straight away. In they come, and they've only got one to go from here, and Soares has got the 3 points killed. The second place is Stu Robertson. Then comes John Pine. Oh, there goes Charlie Schwartz Jr. He's trying too hard out on the racetrack. Out of the final turn they come for the last time, and John Soares kills the 3 points for the United States. A good drive ahead of Stu Robertson. Then comes the New South Wales #1 for Australia, John Pine, and Charlie Schwartz Jr. having a very unhappy time of it. Fails to pick up any points at all with no time recorded due to the race stoppage. But once again a 3-all situation. And we'll go to Ross for the update on the scoreboard.
Yes, on the scoreboard, United States team captain John Soares, a vital heat for him. He scored his first 3-pointer of the night. For Australia, Stu Robertson in car number 4 scored 2 points. John Pine in car number 1 scored 1 point. And the rookie Charlie Schwartz Jr. failed to score. So for Australia, 3 points from that heat. For the United States, 3 points from that heat. And after 6 exciting heat races, the scoreboard is still locked together. Australia 18, the United States 18. So the leader cars are grouped up. Standing by for the start. And away they go. The flag sends them off. And it was the 27 car who raced straight for the lead, Kevin Begg, and he'll be tough to toss from there. Also getting out very quickly, Paul Rinken. Round the outside, Paul Rinken is going to grab the lead. Good racetrack up high. There's really plenty of groove up top if you're prepared to have a go. That's the main thing. Got to be prepared to get up there and have a crack at it. And Paul Rinken takes up the running. He leads coming into Mo. Oh, there's some real drive through the corner there for the second place car. That's Brett Haynes. Third place is being held by Darryl Pine. He's moved up to third. But it's Paul Rinken showing the way down back straight away past the Hunter Communications timer. And he's leading clearly. Brett Haynes is second, and running third is Darryl Pine.
Yes, Haynes now trying to get this race leader, Paul Rinken, who's starting to clear off. But he's starting to slowly but surely reel him in. There's only 2.5 to go, and he's got plenty of time to make a challenge for this race lead. The red number 4 car, and that's Brett Haynes in second spot. And he's chasing hard after the car number 20 of Paul Rinken. Rinken now, they come for some of the slower cars. Rinken moves high on the track. Haynes now moves around the slower car as well. They come through okay. Now he sees an opportunity on the inside. Oh, and Brett Haynes grabbed it with both hands as he came through turn 3-4. And at the right time too, with only 1 to go. Now he starts to clear away from Rinken in second spot. This has been a good drive by Brett Haynes. He picked the right spot and he grabbed the Rinken right with 1 to go, and he's going to take the checkered flag. A good drive to Brett Haynes. He takes it out ahead of Rinken. Then back in third will be the 56 of Darryl Pine ahead of Jason Elborn. Then came Begg in car number 27. Kibble was one of the cars across the line next in the black number 32 car ahead of the 31. Then came Sains in car number 6, with Richard Gardner in car number 12 being one of the last to finish, ahead of the 24 car, who is Michelle Watson in car number 24, one of the last to come across the line. 137.066. 137.066 was the time recorded for our leader sprint B main, and the race win going to the car number 4 of Brett Haynes. Ready for a start, lights flashing. See if we can get them underway. as the green flag falls too, and Baker got a quick start on the outside. He tried to squeeze through on the outside of Hearn, but there was no room. Into the first turn they go. Oh, Baker went wide. He got a touch on Hearn that time, and he also got a touch on the concrete wall. Well, he saw a little bit of a gap there, Baker. He knew that the line's there tonight up high. He went to go around the outside. He bumped with Neil Hearn. I don't think through any fault of Neil Hearn's. He just tried to come through the gap that wasn't there. He cannoned off Hearn into the concrete wall, and a complete restart, I think the call is from the Chief Steward.
It is, Joel, and we made comment that there is a second groove on this racetrack now if you're prepared to race on the high line. Now, not a lot of these drivers will be used to racing on the high line because this is a new racetrack here at the Motordrome. There's some different styles of racing to adjust to. There is a definite race groove on that second line of the racetrack. Alan Baker went for it, but unfortunately it didn't come off.
As the green flag falls, and away goes Wasson. He got away quickly this time. Coming through quickly too was Carrick, but moving up the second spot was John Lodge in car number 21. Now Carrick gets out into third spot, and he's looking for the high line as well. He tries to go on the outside. Here comes Peter Garrett. He's come from the tail of the field, and he's starting to make the charge. Oh, he backed off nicely there. He saw Carrick got hampered, and he avoided any collision coming out of turn 3. Oh, up on the inside of Carrick, as smooth as you like, and it looks like he's going to grab third away. Carrick comes back at him though on the outside, but Peter Garrett, oh, he overcooked it going into the turn. Oh, up onto the infield, a bit of four-wheel driving. Now he comes back down the track. Oh, Wagner's car has been torn to pieces in turn 3-4, and there's debris all over the track, so the red light's going to have to come out, and it looks like a can of sardines as it comes down the main straightaway. Brad Wagner in car 33. Well, he's got air conditioning in that now. All the bits on the turn 3-4.
Yeah, what happened there, Joel, was Michael Hickey, who's having a hit out in the car number 10 tonight. Normally the car driven by Brian Watt, but Michael Hickey's having a blast tonight, and that's just what he did in turn 3-4. He went in a little too quickly and cleaned up the number 33 of Wagner. He sort of used Wagner as a stoppage.
Getting ready for the race restart though. Only 6 laps left to run. Wasson will lead them away.
Okay, and away they go into turn 1, 2, and Neil Wasson on the outside. John Lodge backed off, and Robert Carrick and Peter Garrett were both badly hampered by that, but still good saves, I think, on their part. It's Neil Wasson, the race leader, followed by John Lodge. Then comes Robert Carrick. Now, Peter Garrett will be finding that running up onto that infield and then getting back down onto the clay, really different task now, makes it very difficult once you clip that infield and come back to the clay. You've got two completely types of grip. Oh, and Garrett's just absolutely trying to shoulder his way through on that inside line. Not using the racetrack, he's using the infield. Up on the inside of John Lodge go, he has another go at him. Well, gee, they really are at it, hammer and tongs, John Lodge and Peter Garrett. Now Garrett will drive up on the inside of him. They'll have another bit of a bump. No, they won't. They didn't come together on that occasion. But it's all Neil Wasson with 2 laps to go, and he's settled down into a nice race groove.
Oh, Peter Garrett, he's going all over the shop at the moment. Him and John Lodge having a great duel. And there's only 2 laps left to go for Wasson, the race leader. Second place, Carrick. Here comes Garrett. He's going to try and get through on the inside of Lodge. Lodge has held him out. Now on the inside, Garrett says thank you. That's all he wanted. Just that little drift out high in turn 1, 2. And he got the gap that he wanted and came through into third place. In good driving by Garrett. He's very determined, Peter Garrett. I don't think I've seen him drive any better than what he has this season. Down back straight away for the last time, and it's the 14 of Neil Wasson. He'll come out of the turn to take the checkered flag and the race win. Car 14, Neil Wasson, ahead of Carrick in car 16. Then comes Peter Garrett, good drive for third, ahead of John Lodge, followed by Hickey. Brian Burke, the ACT5, was next across the line, ahead of Tom Wright. Then came Neil Hearn in car number 30 with Al Starling in car number 88, the only other car to complete the race. No time recorded due to the race stoppages. And a good win going to Neil Wasson in car number 14 as he takes out event 7A, the second race for the Super Sedans.
So coming into main straight away. Getting set. Now they're racing, and Peter Hopwood got away well. So too did Mark Everly up the front of the race. Oh, there's trouble with the car number 15 scooting up onto the infield and right out of contention. Now, Mark Everly got untidy coming out of turn 2, which is unusual for him, and that's allowed Rob Maunder. Now, have a look at these street stockers. Look where they're getting the race groove. They're right up high on the racetrack, and that's where they're getting the groove if you're prepared to have a drive up there. It's Peter Hopwood leading from Rob Maunder. Those two have worked their way clear of the pack. Third place, looks like the 26 car, is it? And it is. It's Gary Morris, who's running under a different colour just to confuse me in the control tower, but it's Gary Morris in third place. Fourth place is Steve West. Now, Mark Everly's dropped back to fifth, and he won't be happy with that, but have a look at the race developing up front, where Peter Hopwood is under enormous pressure from Rob Maunder. And Rob Maunder coming out of turn 4, keeping down just a little low on the inside of the race leader, Peter Hopwood, trying to make some inroads on him. Can't quite do so. He's got 4.5 laps left to do it, and he is certainly within touch, but where can he get the pass? That's the interesting thing. Because down low, you're going to save some ground, but it looks like you lose that little bit of power. Now he makes the dive up on the inside, Maunder, and tries to have a go. Hopwood still the leader from Maunder, a long way back to Gary Morris and Steve West. They've careered right away. In fact, Gary Morris is holding up the rest of the race. They can't get by him. And coming into main straightaway, a tremendous two-car war up front. Peter Hopwood leads, and Rob Maunder is hounding away at his boot lid.
Holden versus Ford. Peter Hopwood in the Holden. Out in front, where other place would he be in a Holden? He's being chased by the two of Rob Maunder in second spot in the Ford, but he can't quite get to him. A long gap back to Morris. Then comes West, followed by Weaver. But look at this battle up front. It's between Hopwood and Maunder. Hopwood's had his measure all race. Now he gets a little opportunity on the inside, Maunder, but he can't capitalise on it. Peter Hopwood driving a good line up high. He's got the power in that car too, and he's holding them at bay. There goes Gary Morris. He's finally cracked. Steve West come through into third spot. But look at the battle up front with only one to go. Peter Hopwood leads. Second spot, Rob Maunder's trying everything he can to get at him, but he just can't find the spot to go on the inside of him. He certainly won't make the outside pass unless he runs up onto the grass on the hill. Down back straight away, and it's Peter Hopwood. He's holding on to this race lead. Into the final turn, he comes for the last time. He's going to take it out. Maunder decides to have one last crack at him, but he's not going to get him down to the line. Peter Hopwood takes the race win. Maunder right on the bumper in second spot. Then we're going to go right back to third placing, and it's going to be Steve West in car number 3 ahead of Morris in the 26. Then comes Kevin Hopwood, followed by Weaver in car 60 ahead of the 21 of Lear. Then Kane Smith in the 77, right back to the 62 of Pearson, and the only other car to finish, Dave Wright in car number 15, 245.739. 245.739, and a big round of applause for the race winner, car number 70, Peter Hopwood. That car too does sound really good tonight. John Brown car, Terry Olsen Transport Group. They've done a bit of work to it by the sounds. Here comes Soares, the United States captain. He's been driving particularly well for them tonight. I think he's taken over the role. He's led from the front.
Like all sports, Joel, he's enjoying it. When you're enjoying what you're doing, you always seem to perform that little bit better. It was quite obvious when we had a word with him at interval time that he's enjoying what he's doing. So here's the Americans putting a bit of pressure on the Australians. Both their cars are on the track, and the 2 minutes timer has started, and the Australians now have 2 minutes to make the racetrack. As Joel pointed out, I think John Pine was caught on the hop. He dashed back into the pits for some reason and is not out there and set and ready to go in this heat. So a bit of pressure on the Australians. with John Soares and Charlie Schwartz out there, ready to run. Schwartz has been driving very well tonight. There's a few American fans here in the main grandstand saying that he's the one to carry their hopes. Now all the cars are on the racetrack. And they're now going to group in to their start positions. The Americans will have pole, as they had in the opening heat in the first round. They'll have pole in the opening heat in the second round.
This time it looks a bit more set. Maybe we might get the green flag. Looks pretty promising too, and they get it too. Brown on the outside went quickly. Oh, he got the race lead too. John Pine came through up into third place. This is what Australia won. Oh, he's overcooked it. Oh, you don't often see that from Piney, and he'll be kicking himself. John Brown, though, he's got the race lead. Second spot is Charlie Schwartz Sr. Then comes Soares, followed by John Pine. Now John Pine's going to have to try and get through on the inside of Soares. They give him a little bit of luck. Now he'll come through on the inside. Soares has got the power. Charlie Schwartz, meantime, boxing it on up front. There's two races in one. John Brown doing a great job for Australia. Here comes Piney. Piney trying to come through on the inside. Oh, Schwartz is getting frustrated now. He's going to try and have a crack at Brown, but he can't get him. Pine needs to get up into third place. Australia out in front. John Brown, one more lap to go. Here comes Piney on the inside. Pine's got Soares in his sights. He might have one. He's got him on the inside. John Pine up into third spot. This is what we want. Brownie out of turn number 3, 4. What a win, John Brown. Let's hear it. Australia number 6, John Brown ahead of Charlie Schwartz. John Pine picks up third, and John Soares, a dejected figure, limps across the line. He knows he threw that away, and Australia sneaked the advantage. And what a great performance from John Brown. He held the race lead. He was under all sorts of pressure, and he's come up with the win when Australia needed it most. 1 minute 3.833.
Oh, grab your breath. The fans are grabbing theirs as we check the Nbn Television Scoreboard. John Brown for Australia scores 3 points, and John Pine for Australia scores 1 point to make the Australian heat total 4. For the United States, Charlie Schwartz Sr. scores 2 points. John Soares failed to score to make it a 2-point heat total for the Americans. So the first break in our test match comes at heat number 7. Australia grabbed the lead. Australia 22, the USA 20. Now the cars on the racetrack for heat 8. And it is not Charlie Schwartz Jr. who's driving the car number 4. It's Cheatham again in car 4, which he's supposed to be. And the substitute is Charlie Schwartz Sr. So it's Charlie Schwartz Sr. substituting. There's trouble. 2 cars heading to the concrete wall. Bert Cheatham and Ron Pine out of turn 2 as the substitute driver Charlie Schwartz hoots it round the outside. But we have a problem in turn 2. 2 team cars locked together. 1 for the Aussies, Ron Pine. 1 for the United States, Bert Cheatham. And USA 4, Bert Cheatham will be sent to the rear of the field. The Australian team is eligible to make a replacement because no laps have been scored. Bert Cheatham has had a check on his car, so he'll be back out. Now the 2 Americans are on the racetrack. 2 minutes on the Australian team.
Here comes John Pine, substitute. Well, Piney's come out. Onto the track to make it Stu Robinson in car number 4 for Australia, and substituting for Ron Pine will be New South Wales number 1, John Pine. Bert Cheatham still out there for the United States, and Charlie Schwartz Sr. substituting for Charlie Schwartz Jr. Red light's still on. Now they start to group themselves up.
Just breaking in, Joel. Bert Cheatham must start from position 4. The steward wants him in position 4, the actual rear of the field, where John Pine is sitting. So they'll swap those 2 cars over. And we'll get set for Heat 8. The Australians have established that all-important break, the first break of the series.
And Ross, this is where they might go further ahead. They've got the inside running. If Stu Robertson can get a good start here, John Pine will come through behind him.
It's vital that he gets a good start though, Joel, because Charlie Schwartz will try and kill this heat too and hope that Bert Cheatham might be able to box it on with John Pine to grab 1 point. So it's vital Stewie Robertson gets a good start.
In the acceleration zone, ready for the start to heat number 8. Down they come to grab the green flag. A good start on the outside. The Americans got away well. Cheatham high on the track. He drove right around the outside of Stu Robertson. He's gone into second spot. Well, the Americans 1-2 at the moment. Robertson's got to come back at him to try and at least get that 4-2 situation. But at the moment, it's 5 points to 1. Charlie Schwartz, Senior, as the false teeth ball out, is out in front. Second spot is Bert Cheatham. Then comes Stu Robertson. He's let Piney through. Here comes John Pine. He's the only hope. He's back in third spot, though. He's got it all to do. He's going to come through on the inside. Oh, give him a nudge. No, he backs off a little bit. And he's still in third placing all this time. Charlie Schwartz, Senior, starting to pull away. Oh, Piney's tried too hard. Oh, the Australians have touched. Oh, Stu Robertson came through in the inside. Well, they're all over the track. This is disastrous heat for Australia. They're trying too hard. Out of the last turn for the last time. And Charlie Schwartz Senior, he'll take the race win for the United States. 1 and 2. Oh, no wall! Oh, bad luck for Cheatham. They got across. Oh, Stu Robertson and John Pine. And Cheatham. Is that rough justice? Is that justice or what?
You could not believe it. They say it's not over till the fat lady sings, and she wasn't ready to sing.
Well, what a shame for Bert Cheatham. He's stuck on the concrete wall, and I don't know what happened, Ross, but you can see the tyre marks coming out of the turn. He's just gone straight into the concrete wall. Well, that's terrible luck.
Bad luck because, as you said, Joel, he just seemed to have everything in his keeping, and then something gave way. Something gave in, he lost it. When I say he lost it, I don't think he lost control of the car. I think something went wrong with the car. Something broke, and he went straight into the concrete wall, tried desperately to keep the foot down and just sneak across the line, but couldn't do it. And a new race record of 1 minute 0.527 seconds. Charlie Schwartz has set a new track record here at the Motordrome. Let's check the scoreboard whilst the crews try to work the Charlie Schwartz Jr. car off the concrete wall. Now the Americans are definitely down to 2 cars. It was USA 2 Charlie Schwartz substituting and scoring 3 points. Australia 4 Stu Robertson came home in second place, even though it was Lady Luck shining on him. And John Pine substituting came home in third place to score 1 point. So the Australians, with 100 metres of the race to go, staring at 5-1, finished up squaring it at 3-all. So Australia 25 lead the USA 20. Hang on. 23. 25-23. I didn't add the 3 points onto the Americans. 25-23. Still the 2 point margin as the Australians managed to sneak up to a 3-all, and they will be thanking their lucky stars for that one. Wow, what an exciting race. First of all, it looked as if the Americans had it all to themselves, and then I believe something has just broken on the Bert Cheatham car. It just went straight into the concrete wall. It didn't want to turn left at all. And that is a mess. They've got some work to do on that car before next Saturday night. This is the 2 of Charlie Schwartz, so that's his car, and it isn't. Yes, it is Charlie. It's Charlie Schwartz driving the number 2 car, so he'll be substituting. And is this Soares in the 1 car? Yes, it is. So Soares is right, and Schwartz is substituting. So that's his 2nd substitution, Charlie Schwartz. So he would be able to substitute one more time before he is only able then to meet his own driving commitment. And it wouldn't matter, he can substitute one more time anyhow.
Well, Ross, I think Soares is starting to go off a little bit. He's drifting off the line and he's leaving the door wide open, and someone like John Pine's going to take full advantage of that. Brownie's proven he can take out a heat. See if he can do it again. John Brown and John Pine for Australia. Getting set. Good looking formation too as they come in the acceleration zone, and the green flag falls. John Brown rockets to the race lead. Now John Pine's going to try and come through. Oh, straight through the gap. Charlie Schwartz Sr. He's going to come through on Brownie and take the race lead. Oh, he squashed him up against the wall. Oh, no, he's got the race lead off him. Right around the outside though, John Pine. He grabs John Soares and makes it 3-all. So into the turn they go. Schwartz is starting to struggle a little bit. John Brown tried to come through on the inside. John Pine back in 3rd spot, then comes Soares. Down they come to complete another lap, and it's still Charlie Schwartz Senior. As Ross mentioned, he seems to get fired up in these pressure situations. He smashed the lap record, and now he's starting to pull away from the field. Soares, he makes a move on John Pine towards the tail of the field. So Piney's starting to come under pressure. 1 lap to go. Charlie Schwartz Senior's going to kill the 3. John Brown in 2nd spot for Australia. Then comes John Pine, and John Soares having all sorts of trouble. Onto the infield he goes, out of the final turn, and it's going to be the United States 2. Charlie Schwartz Sr. He takes the heat. 2nd place goes to Brownie. 3rd place goes to the New South Wales number 1, John Pine, with John Soares failing to score in a time of 1 minute 3.163. 1 minute 3.163 with a 3-all situation in heat number 9.
Okay, as Joel's pointed out, 3-all. Let's have a look at the NBN Television Scoreboard. USA 2, Charlie Schwartz scores another victory, his 4th win of the night, and he takes 3 points. Australia 6, John Brown, 2 points. And John Pine, 1 point for the Australians to give them a heat total of 3. John Soares failed to add to his account in that heat. So again, a 3-all heat score. And still Australia leading by 2 points. Australia 28, USA 26. We're set for heat 10. Now this is Charlie Schwartz back out for his own race. He is scheduled to run in this race, and Soares has stayed out there. So this will be a substitution for the American captain. He goes in, that's his 1st substitution for the night. Australia 28, lead the USA 26.
Now, a bit of concern being shown for one of the American cars. This being waved onto the infield, John Soares. A little bit of discussion going on with the American camp. He's come out to substitute now. He pulls onto the infield. So 2 minutes might start on...
They're going to put Cheatham in, Joel. They're going to put Bert Cheatham in the car. Yep, there he is. He's getting his helmet ready.
So cars on the track, ready to race. They're just swapping the drivers over. Out comes Soares. Cheatham goes in.
2 minutes, team signal.
2 minutes starts.
What an interesting situation in our NBN Television Test match. There are 3 heats to go. The Australians only lead by 2 points. We have seen that the Americans can put themselves into a 5-1 situation, so it's not impossible for them to get back into the lead in this test match. Certainly the Australians have the advantage. They've got the points on the scoreboard. The Americans have got to get them.
John Brown too, Ross, he seems to be getting better and better as each heat goes on, and he's starting to become a real asset for the Australian team. Stu Robertson now is going to get the pressure put on. He needs to get a good start away from that inside line. Schwartz is on the outside, and he's been driving absolutely. He seems to lift himself, doesn't he, Ross, when he gets into these very tight situations. He thrives on the pressure and lifts himself, and he's starting to bring these Americans back from the grave. Now time's ticking away. Cheatham now fires up. He'll move out onto the track with plenty of time to spare.
I find it difficult to understand, Joel, how Bert Cheatham gets into the John Soary's car. As you heard John Soary's at the interval break say that he was talking to John Brown. He finally found a race car driver who was as tall as he was. Well, Bert Cheatham has got to be a good 5 inches taller than John Soary's, maybe more, yet he's squashed into that number 1 car.
So Stu Robertson from pole position, Charlie Schwartz Sr. on the outside. Now Stu Robertson's got to get a good start on the inside because Brownie will put the foot down, and I think he'll be a bit quicker than Cheatham on the outside. So if Stu Robertson can get up into that first spot, maybe they can make it a 1 first and third. Lights are flashing though. We're ready to get underway with heat number 10 in this first Super Sedan test brought to us by Nbn Television. Ready for the start. And they get it too, but it was Charlie Schwartz Sr. away quickest on the outside. Stu Robertson's dropped back into second spot. He doesn't seem to have the power tonight, Stu. He's in second. Then comes John Brown. Now Cheatham's going to try everything he's got to get around Brownie on the outside. He tried for the pass too. Brownie's boxed in. Oh, good driving by Brown. He saw that he was going to go for it up high, but he shut him out pretty quickly. Brown holding on to that third spot. Charlie Schwartz Sr.'s cleared right away. Stu Robertson in second. He drifted a little bit high. John Brown in third place. Then comes Cheatham, who's got the pressure right on John Brown. Now that's where the pressure is. Cheatham, he's going to try and get around Brown to make it a 4-2 situation, but he can't seem to pick Brownie off. He's got a good line. He's making it very hard. Oh, he drifted a little bit there and gave Cheatham a look at him, but he's quickly to shut that gap off and pull away. 1 lap left to run. Charlie Schwartz Sr., he's got the 3 points killed this time. Second spot's going to be Stu Robertson. They come out of the final turn, and it's Charlie Schwartz Sr. He takes the race win. Stu Robertson will come in second. John Brown will hang on for third. Good drive by Brownie. Fourth place is going to go to Bert Cheatham in a time of 1 minute 1.193. Another quick time from Charlie Schwartz Sr., and he kills the 3 points for the United States to make it yet again another 3-all situation. But Ross, that's not going to be good enough for him.
Well, Joel, as I pointed out, one heat of 5-1 is 4 points, and that puts America back in front. So they're not out of it by any means. USA 2, Charlie Schwartz scored 3 points for America. That gave them their heat total because Bert Cheatham in the USA 1 car was unable to pick up a point. For Australia, Stu Robertson scored 2 points and John Brown scored 1 point. That gave them their 3-point heat total. And so, after 10 heats, 2 heats to go, Australia still lead by 2 points. Australia 31, lead the United States 29. So, we have the 2 Australian cars on the racetrack.
Still waiting
for the water truck to leave the track, which it does. And now the 2 minutes starts once the water truck has treated the race surface. Now the 2 minutes will stop, I would think, because the Australian car has left the track. We'll see what the steward decides. Sorry, the chief steward has now decided the 2 minutes will run on both teams. So, tension building a little, pressure starting to mount. It's the John Pine crew very quickly puts the car on the jack, and look at the left-hand rear tyre. They may be making some adjustments to suspension, or maybe even changing the wheel. I can't quite see from my position. It is a wheel, a complete wheel change.
Well, Ross, that was a very quick tyre change for John Pine. If you compare it to the American tyre change a little earlier on.
Sorry, Joel, I must correct myself there too. It is John Pine making a substitution here. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah, John Pine comes in for Ron Pine, who doesn't look like they'll get that car back on the racetrack. There's only 2 heats to go. Getting down to the last car. Oh, look out here, what's going on? Well, United States drivers just decided to drive right over the top of John Brown. You're kidding.
I don't know what he's done there, whether he wasn't watching or what the story was, but...
Well, he's certainly hasn't seen Brownie. He came up on the outside. We hope that hasn't done any damage to the Brown car. It'd be a terrible shame, because Cheatham...
I think what happened, Joel, I think he got a clutch problem. When he tried to go down the outside of John Brown... No, he hasn't got a problem. He's just indicating to Brownie, he said, sorry, I was asleep.
Brownie wasn't too impressed either. He just climbed all over the top of him.
He came up and apologised to John Brown because he said, I just wasn't able to do what I wanted to do. Get it into gear or get it out of gear, whatever he's trying to do. He accidentally collided with John Brown. Fortunately, no damage done. Stand by for an all-important heat 11, only 2 points the difference.
Second last heat, the red lights come on though, so no start. Now, one more time around. Watch for Brownie here, he'll be fired right up.
John Pine's the important link here in this heat, because if he can stay in front of John Soares, making it a 3-all, that definitely puts the pressure on the Americans. If they let the Americans in here and get a 2-point heat and square up the series, the last heat will be a really vital one. So Australia need to definitely square this up.
Brownie too went early, but a little bit too early. No start this time. But
Yeah.
That's what we want to see. Brown go up on the outside and Pine slot into that 3rd spot.
I don't know, Joel. I think the racetrack's just lost that top line for the moment. I think it's about a mid-track line. I don't think there's a race line up high just at this stage. I think it's dried out a little too much.
Set this time though. Looking for the start. Oh, Cheatham. Oh, look out for Soares. He's come flying through and give Brownie the tap. Well, I don't know. I think John...
I think the problem's Cheatham, Joel, because he's something wrong with the gearbox on that car that he can't get used to. And he's not quite ready to give it the bootful that he wants to give it. Brownie is.
John Brown, you'd swear, has got a big red target painted on the car. They all seem to be running into him. Ready for the start. This time it's a little bit better. Now they'll get the green flag, and they do. Oh, Piney was asleep. Well, John Pine missed it altogether. Brownie got the race lead, though, fortunately. It's John Brown out in front. Second place is Cheatham. Then comes Soares. Now, Soares is going to come under all sorts of pressure from John Pine, and he's got him too on the inside. Oh, he lost it, though. John Pine's thrown it away. He's got to stay on the track, though. He's got to stay there. Brown out in front, though. They've got a 3-all situation, though. John Brown out in front. Second spot, Cheatham. The red lights come on, though. John Pine's brought it to a stoppage, and I think that's the gamble he's got to take.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. It was a gamble to take. He'll have to go to the rear for deliberately stopping the race. And John Brown will lead. But as we've pointed out in the call, there's a lot of pressure and a lot of tension here. Australia definitely have to make it a 3-all. I think John Pine's trying a little too hard to grab that extra point, and I think he might have a problem here.
he hit that windrow, Ross, fairly hard, and it
bounced
threw
up
the car
into the
and
track.
bounced, and
Yeah,
it might have done some suspension or steering damage because.
and they
let's
won't
look
be
at-
able. They won't be able to substitute, Joel, because a lap has been scored.
Well, he might have been better off trying to back off the track because they had a
Yeah.
3-all situation, but that's the risk you take. It looked like John Pine might have a steering problem, pushing that car away, and it just wouldn't turn into the corner. He had to signal to stop pushing because it was just pushing towards the fence.
Yeah.
Now they're just checking to see.
Now,
whether
no
there is a
substitute
steering
will be
problem.
permitted because a lap has been scored on the race.
No, now Piney seems to fire up.
Okay, he's
That's
back.
the way.
Captain Australia is back. But he will go rear of the field.
Very uncharacteristic for John Pine to lose the cool. And that's what he did. He saw the opening. He got too anxious. There was plenty of laps to go. He had all the time in the world. There was no doubt he was going to get Suarez because Suarez is in a little bit of trouble in that car. He seems to be drifting very wide and leaving the door wide open.
Probably getting a bit tired, the old fella.
Now, is it a single file restart?
Yep.
Single file. Watch for John Pine here. I reckon he could get Suarez. Ready for the start. And the green flag fall on the inside. He got him for the restart. Did he know? He was awake this time. Brownie out in front. Now Cheatham's going to try and get this race lead, and he might get it on the back straight. Cheatham on the outside. Brown on the inside. Brown's not going to give up that easy. Over he goes. Manova! Into the wall goes the American first. Cheatham. He's on fire. On fire, Cheatham. Well, what a spectacular crash in turn 3 for the Americans, going up and over. And I tell you what, Ross, you don't often see a Super Sedan go over.
You certainly don't, Joel. Let's have a look if Cheatham's okay.
He's okay.
Cheatham's climbing out. He's all right. There was a touch between the two cars. They were racing shoulder to shoulder, door handle to door handle going into the turn. It was Cheatham taking on John Brown on the outside. Brown was on the inside. Cheatham was on the outside. They were really racing into the turn on this new clay track. They were looking for the drive. Brown on the inside and Cheatham on the outside. And then Cheatham got airborne. The car just got up in the air and up he went. The further he got round the corner, the higher into the air it went, up over the concrete wall and down and caught on fire.
What a spectacular incident in heat number 11 of this first Super Sedan test match. Bert Cheatham, well, you could see Brownie was just getting out a little bit wider. Cheatham wasn't going to back off. There's John Pine. He's still circulating around the track. Brownie's gone in to have a look to see if any damage has been done to his car. There's certainly been a lot of damage done to the Suarez car. A big incident.
Joel, the difficulty now is car number 3 for the United States out of action. Car number 4 for the United States crunched into the concrete wall. Car number 2 for the United States rolled and crashed into the fence in turn 3. They've only got one car left. They've only got the USA one car left.
Now the 2-minute clock is on. And I would imagine it'd be on both teams because there's an Australian car out on the track, John Pine. And we're just waiting for a decision from the American camp. Ross, we'll go down track
Joel,
side.
down here, John Sorry says, I want to finish this heat at least. So he wants to run in this heat. He's going to come out on his own. They've only got one car left. So I suppose in faith to you fans, he is going to try and come out and run this race. I doubt very much, Joel, whether they will contest the last heat. But John Soares is coming out to run this heat of the test match.
Well, time running out too, Ross, for the Americans. The 2 minutes been on. Here comes Brownie. He's back out on the track. A few battle scars on the car, but nothing too serious. And as Ross mentioned, John Soares is going to come out and complete this heat. It could see a 5-1 situation to Australia to put the nail in the coffin and seal the lid shut. Out comes the United States one. John Soares, the captain. He's not going to lay doggo. He's not going to throw it in. He's going to at least compete in this heat with only the one car left. They're looking for a start. Single file. Suarez, John Pine and John Brown. They get the green flag. Suarez now is going to try and clear away from the rest of the field. John Pine, though, is going to try and have a crack at him. Brown is just sitting back in third spot. Down back straight away. Can he make it a race win? John Pine up on the inside he goes. He's going to try and grab Suarez in this last heat. Suarez leads. John Pine in second. Brown, he's out of it. On the inside comes Piney. He got a little bit of a look in, but it was shut off pretty quickly. Down back straight away. There's only one lap left to go. Suarez out in front, but he's under all sorts of pressure from John Pine. Can Piney get him on the last lap? Let's get him home. On the inside, Piney has a go at him. Oh, Suarez came back at him, though. This is a gutsy drive by the American. Suarez out in front. Pine will have one last shot here on the inside. Piney's got him! No! Suarez gets the race win. United States won. That's a gutsy effort by Suarez. The Australia number one, the New South Wales one of John Pine was second. John Brown picks up third placing to make it 3-all. But I think that will be the final heat. We might go down to Ross in a minute just to check to see that they're not going to come out. Well, there's no point really. Australia have got it wrapped up. They can't possibly get the win. And I think the signal is that that will be it. I don't think we'll require the final heat. We'll check the placings for that one. There was no time recorded. United States one of John Suarez scored 3 points. 2 points went to John Pine of Australia. 1 point going to John Brown. And no other car in it. But Stu Robertson just getting pushed away. But
Joel, just breaking in on you, I've spoken with John Suarez. The Americans will not be coming out for the last heat. They won't be coming out for the last heat. They have conceded defeat tonight in this test match. So there will not be a last heat run. The American team captain, John Suarez, has conceded defeat under the situation they have only one car left. They realise they cannot win the test series tonight, so they will not be running the last heat. I do apologise to you, the fans, that just unfortunately the way things have gone for them, it hasn't worked out. So stay with us because we're going to get the teams to come over and have a chat. We're going to congratulate the Australian team. They did it tough last year, and I guess they did it pretty tough tonight too. I think everybody thought it was going to be a bit of a cakewalk for the Australian team, but it didn't turn out that way. So we've first of all got Ron Pine coming over, no doubt a pretty dejected member of the team because he didn't perform the way he would have wanted to, but nonetheless, Ron, it's a win.
Yeah, we take all wins as a win, but as soon as they got dirty, they lost the match. I mean, the first guy stuck me in over there, and God got him over here. It's a great equaliser, but we thought we had it pretty well right, but he got what he deserved because he stuck me in big time.
Well, that's what Joel called it up in the tower too, and I had a bit of a disagreement with him, so the young fella got it right.
Well, he not only got it right, that guy was on the infield and he launched off the infield into the side of my car, and I was sitting up high waiting Stewie to get the line. He dropped in, got the line, I followed him, and next minute this guy wanted to get in and drive my car as well as me.
Okay, well, Saturday night's there. You may be under just a little bit of pressure with the way these other Super Sedan guys are going at the moment, but you're pretty confident you can get those problems sorted out?
Yeah, that felt pretty good that last time we were out there, even though it was only half a lap. I mean, we just made an adjustment. Actually, John Brown, I've got to thank him. He come up and he said, Ron, you've got to do this, and I went and done it, and it fixed.
Okay, that's fine. So we may see Ronnie back for the second test match on Saturday night. We'll try and get the rest of the guys assembled in the utes. A bit of a premature end to our first test match tonight. If you are making your way home, don't forget we've got the second clash between these two teams. The Americans, boy, are they going to have to burn some midnight oil in the next couple of nights. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the captain of the Aussie team, John Pine. Congratulations, John. A win is a win.
Well, one on some, those circumstances, Ross, it's not a real good run, but the thing was is the Americans put up a hell of a good show, and that track out there has just turned into a magic surface for us tonight, and it was good race. And just unfortunate that the guy ran over a wheel, and one of those things happened, and you don't like to see that. John got out of the road, I got out of the road, but was just one of those things that happen in racing, and unfortunate the damage is done, and we couldn't finish a hell of a good show. And I think that the way the points were, it was a bloody good race.
Well, how are they going to be on Saturday night with 4 cars? There's going to be a real test match on our hands.
Well, we dropped one early, so it was bad luck for our team. We went one down. So the thing is if they get their act together next week, I tell you what, we're not going to get it easy.
All right, John Sawyer, the American captain, is here. I did speak to you after putting in a fantastic victory in that second last heat, but you conceded defeat because down to 1 car, you just weren't going to be able to peg back those points.
No, you can't make it up. It's just one of those deals that it's impossible to win, and you only had 1 race to go, and there's no sense running the 1 car down in the ground, and so we conceded with 1 to go. But I got to say one thing. If you didn't get your money's worth tonight, you didn't get it, because it was pretty exciting.
Let me break in on you first of all. I haven't had the chance to chat with Bert. Is Bert okay after that spectacular crash?
Yeah, he's all right. He says, put me back in it. He said, well, it won't roll. He said, well, I'll try and make it around there. No, it's too bad, so.
Okay, well, Saturday night is your chance to get square.
Yeah, we'll be back. The 2 car, of course, Charlie said he's not lending his car to nobody ever again. He said he just got it the way he wanted it, and now you went and wrecked it.
Okay, well, we'll see you back. You've got a lot of work to do in those couple of days, but I know you've got a pretty keen crew there to get them all back. 4 cars here to take on the Aussies on Saturday night.
Oh, yeah, we'll be back, and everything, the cars will look like they've never been crashed. And when this is over, I'm going to the U.S. for a vacation.
Okay, there's John Sawyer, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the guys are congratulating each other. John Brown, John, come on over. That was one heck of a spectacular incident involving you and Bert Cheatham in that corner. Door handle to door handle stuff, and all of a sudden he was airborne. What was your reaction?
I won't tell you, actually. That's just how it works. You're running so close and you're on the edge. Tyre hangs out a bit. Over they go. There's not much you can do about it. I did a couple of years ago, so anyway.
Yeah, sure. It's not often we see a super sedan go over, but you'd be happy with that win tonight because, boy, in those second batch of heats, you started to look like you were right on song.
Yeah, we're just starting to get a few bugs out of it. I've had Billy Roberts from Grizzly Race Cars in Sydney up here this week. He's been helping me with a car, and it's now starting to be a really good car. So.
All right, John, I'd say you might be in that super sedan team on Saturday night. Ladies and gents, we're going to send the Australian team round on the back of our new FM Black Thunder vehicle. Boy, what a super-looking car. And you give them a big cheer and give them a big round of applause because here come the Aussie guys. They won this test match tonight, fair and square. They're going to do the lap of honour. John Brown sitting down in the black racing gear. Standing up in the yellow racing gear is John Pine. In the red, white and blue racing gear, Ron Pine. And over the back in the blue and white racing gear is Stewie Robertson. They were your successful team members, and who knows, they may be the 4 that the selectors will stick with next Saturday night. Maybe there might be some changes. You'll need to keep in touch with the media, particularly Nbn Television, who have supported us tonight, and on our radio stations, New FM and 2HD, to keep you in touch with any changes that might be made to the Australian team lineup. We still do have a couple of races left to run on our program. I know we are getting a little late, Joel, and there'll be a call from the tower as to exactly which races we will be able to run, but we do know that it is getting late, the hour's getting late. Whether we'll run all 3 of the remaining races we have left, we'll hear from you in the tower. But let's be fair to the Aussies. They're doing their lap of honour. They want to thank the fans for turning out tonight, and they want to look for your support again on Saturday night when we have the second test match here at the Motordrome. So there's the Australian team doing their lap of honour, down back straight away past the Hunter Communications timer. You folks over there in the southern corner, give those Aussies a big cheer. And what about we have a round of applause for the Yanks too? I reckon they tried pretty hard tonight. They did their best under some trying circumstances. That's fantastic sportsmanship from you Aussie people. Aussies have always had a reputation for being great sports, and we're going to be the same here at the Motordrome.
Yeah, the Americans doing their lap of honour. Give them a round of applause on the back of the new FM Black Thunder car. They were a bit of bad luck for them tonight, but I'm sure they're not going to lay down and give up. They're going to come back bigger and stronger on Saturday night. As John Sawyer said, you won't even know that these cars were damaged at all. They'll be nice and spick and span, and they'll be back. And they're only 2 points out of it, Ross. Now, that's a huge effort considering they got down to the end to just 1 car.
Yeah. as we said, Joel, there was still only 2 points in it with 2 heats to go. A 5-1 is always possible in a test match situation, so they weren't out of it until that spectacular crash involving Bert Cheatham. And once that happened, they were just really out of contention, and it was pretty obvious that they were going to concede defeat with the last heat. 1 car only. They were not going to be able to win the test match. But I got to hand it to John Soares. I mean, if we look at Charlie Schwartz Jr., and I don't want to degrade John Soares in any way, but basically when John Soares first appeared in the American Test team, that was how he was. He was spinning out and spinning around and didn't score points and was being substituted on a regular basis. And now, a couple of seasons down the track, and he's a very, very competitive racer. And when you consider, Joel, that he doesn't race on a regular basis back in the United States, he's a grandfather who likes to spend some time with his grandkids, he's made tremendous improvement.
It's good to see the American supporters too out, showing that
there they are, the Stars and Stripes.
Americans.
They're saluting their champs.
They're not worthy. As our pace vehicle leaves the track, we'll get set for a race start. And our feature for the street stockers tonight, courtesy of French Brothers Tyres. Nathan Reid to lead them away, and away they go. Darren Williams, he's come right across the front of Nathan Reid there and grabbed the race line. Well, he might cop a caution for that, I'd reckon. And Nathan Reid's not real happy either. He's pulled out onto the infield, so that's bad luck for him. Now a big charge of drivers come through turn 1, 2. Look at them too. And they coming out in front. It's the 18 car. The boot flapping away on it. And it's the 18 of Whiting, is it? Yes, Troy Whiting is. Now there's trouble in turn 3, 4. Robin Guy in car 45 involved. The 32 of Bruce Johnson now backs away from the trouble. And that's brought the race to a stoppage with still 8 laps left remaining. Now Nathan Reid will be happy with that because he was very unfairly hampered. And Robin Guy getting hooked up in that incident. Robin's car seems to be okay.
And the green flag sends them away. Again, Darren Williams has fought for the lead. This time he was clear of Nathan Reid. Nathan Reid trying to come back up on the inside of Williams. Williams came back down across everybody. Gee, he'd be a hard guy to drive behind this Darren Williams. He's all over the place. 1 minute he's up high on the racetrack, then he's down low. And in the meantime, car 18 of Troy Whiting has grabbed the lead. Ace Whaler in car 129 moving up on the outside. Bang! Williams gives him a bit of a bump as he tried to come round the outside of him. Keeping up about 2/3 track is, oh, here's trouble. Ace Whaler came right across the front of everybody, tried to straighten himself up, couldn't do so, and now rejoins the car race back in the position he was in. That's not a bad effort. Ace Whaler, what a super effort. Oh, now bang, he's had a clip with Dave White, is it? Yes, it's White. He said, right. White is wrong, right is right, as they come down Main straight away. And it's Whiting who's in the lead. Here's Wright coming up on, no, it's Bennett coming up on the inside of Williams. And Bennett goes through into 2nd place. Williams is back to 3rd, and as I said, he's a real handful to drive behind. Now he's right up high on the concrete wall, and Wright is able to come through on the inside. It's Troy Whiting, the leader, followed by Mick Bennett, then Dave Wright, Darren Williams, back down low on the racetrack. He comes out of the corners very, look out, he's up onto the windrow, up and bouncing back down onto the racetrack. Look out, everybody, here I come. Woo! Oh, now he's going fishtailing. Oh, Maria Edmonds didn't know where to go. Oh, gee whiz, never a dull moment. Now he's back down low on the racetrack. Oh, he's off again, Darren Williams. Oh, he's spun sideways. Really, you don't watch anybody else, you watch Darren Williams. He's a circus on his own. Troy Whiting, the race leader, and there's only 2 laps to go.
Whiting's cleared away from Mick Bennett, the team driver, in 2nd. And surprise, surprise, another Holden in 3rd spot. And that's David Wright in car 15. Behind him, the 21 of Alan Lear. Then comes the 3 of Steve West, but there's only 1 lap left to run, and it comes out for Troy Whiting in car 18. Looks like he might have the feature in his grasp. Second spot, Mick Bennett. Then comes David Wright, followed by Alan Lear in car 21. The 3 of Steve West. And Ace Whaler heads off for Rob Maunter, who comes through on the inside, and Kevin Hopwood. But out of the last turn for the last time in the feature win goes to car number 18, Troy Whiting. He takes it out ahead of his teammate, the 19 of Mick Bennett. Then comes David Wright, followed by Alan Lear. Steve West is next across the line. Kevin Hopwood got up in front of Maunter. Then came Weaver, followed by Whaler. The 67 of Keeley was next to 32 of Johnson. Car 75, Nathan Reid, dropped right off the pace. Came across in front of Smith, followed by Gary Morris. Williams finally gets across the line in a roundabout way ahead of Maria Redmonds in car 54, 239.120, 239.120. And a big round of applause for your feature race winner in the street stock division, car number 18, Troy Whiting. Event 10 on the card, lights out, ready for a start. And the green flag falls to, and Stuart got away quickest on the outside, and he quickly jumps to the race lead. Now let's look for any incidents going into turn 1, 2, but they've managed to sort themselves out A-OK. Down back straight away, Stuart out in front. Second spot is being held down by the 37 car of George Winder. He's holding second. McCollum's got back to third. Now the big Queensland driver is up in the 4th spot. That's Cole White, and he's been driving fairly well tonight. I'm pretty impressed with the Queenslander. He moves up on the outside to try and make a move. Now he switches to the inside line, and he's trying to come through into 3rd placing. Now it'd be good to see him come through. Oh, trouble! There's Kane Bailey's decided to give in, and Rinkin got a little bit of a touch on him, but it wasn't enough to put him over, and Kane Bailey's got onto the infield. That's good driving to get off the track and out of the way of any major incident. There goes Barnett in car number 9 up onto the infield. He comes back onto the track though, and this track looking absolutely superb tonight. It's great to see the new surface down, and it really has held up well tonight, and the track staff and officials must be happy with the way this track's panned out. But out in front of the race leader is the 68 of Clark. Second spot, here comes Graham McCollum. He's going to have a crack at the race lead, but he can't quite pick him off. Then we've got Cole White in car number 95, back in 3rd spot, so it's Stewart out in front. Second spot, McCollum. Then comes Cole White. Now here comes Reg Haynes. He's out of the pack, and he might be the danger up in 4th spot. He's driven well all night. He's gotten better as each race has gone on, and he's back in 4th placing at the moment, but he's looking to put his way up into 3rd placing. He's got the Queenslander on his side. Out in front, though, Stewart's got him held at bay. McCollum tries to come through on the inside, but he got shut off pretty quickly. Then comes the Queenslander, Cole White in 3rd spot. Reg Haynes sitting waiting for the drop. There's only 3 to go. Race leader is Stewart. Second spot, McCollum. Here comes Cole White on the inside to make a go at him to get second spot away. He's back in 3rd. Then comes Reg Haynes in 4th placing. These are 4 cars up front are battling it right on for this race. It's going to come down to the wire with 2 to go. It's Stewart out in front. Here comes Cole White on the inside. He makes a throw at McCollum. Oh, Stewart got very wide, and he nearly threw the race lead away. Back on the inside, McCollum. McCollum's getting very anxious, and there's Dave Harvey trapped on top of the track. He's not going to be able to get off, but he's going to be able to keep mobile. So they've only got 1 to go. Race leader is Stewart out in front. He's going to hold on to this one, is he? Into the slower traffic they go. McCollum in 2nd spot. Then comes the Queenslander, Cole White. Down to the finish line they come. It's going to be close, but it's Stewart. He holds on with a good race win ahead of McCollum. Then came the 95, the Queenslander of Cole White. Reg Haynes was next across the line in car number 2, followed by Moody. Then came the 95 car of the 94, of Pickering across the line ahead of Challen, and a whole host of other cars. The 20 of Rinkin will be one of the last to cross the line. The time 2:39.172. 2:39.172. The time recorded for 10 laps in our Kawasaki Newcastle Litre Sprint handicap feature, and the race win has gone to Stewart in car number 73, and well deserved too. He's taken out tonight's feature.
Yeah, he hung on well in front of a pack of charging cars, and I've got to give credit to the leaders tonight. I don't think they raced with a stoppage all night. I'm not sure, I could be wrong, but going back on their previous heats, I don't recall too many stoppages. They may have had 1, but that would be all. They've raced very, very smoothly and cleanly, and obviously this new clay surface has been most suitable for them, turned on a very good feature event. So waiting for our pace car to leave the track because we're all set and ready to go. We'll get our pace car off the track. Leaving the circuit. And they're racing. And the Canberra driver, Robert Burke, went straight to the lead. Al Starling in second place, Neil Hearn is third. Michael Hickey, he's the one that's been wanting to do it tonight. He's done it a couple of times too. That is, he crashed a couple of them. He ran into Brad Wagner once. Now Alan Baker's coming around the outside. He's looking to take on a couple of them. Here's a couple into the wall. Tom Wright was one of them, and he hampered Neil Wasson, and Peter Garrett says, move over, Neil. I'm a-coming through. Down the main straightaway. And race leader is Robert Burke. Whoa, there's John Lodge going sideways. Tom Wright spearing onto the infield, the missing. And then the 16, I think it is, of Robert Carrick, who swung sideways to miss an incident as well.
Three cars in turn 3, 4, and nearly in the identical spot where Bert Cheatham went over earlier on. And John Lodge in the 21 car trapped in the mess. So too looks like it might be Peter Garrett in car number 5, and the 16 of Robert Carey involved in the mess. In turn number 3, 9 laps still remaining. This is our final event for the night, brought to us by Hunter Communications. Ready for the restart. Rob Burke from the ACT will lead them off as they get the green flag to send them away, and Alan Baker came through quickly up the third spot. Watch for him in the yellow number 13 car. He'll make a move on the outside of Al Starling. It won't be long before he wheels him in, and he's got to be one of the selectors' choices if anyone's to be changed in the team. You'd think Alan Baker would be the man that would be brought in, but as Ross and I mentioned, it'll probably stay as it is. But Baker now starting to show what he's made of. On the outside now of Burke, he'll probably grab him down back straight away. No, Burke boxed on with him. Now Baker out breaks him into the turn, and Baker now puts the foot down. Burke, though, comes back on the inside. This is good driving by Robert Burke. He's a regular here at the Newcastle Winds Motordrome, and he's a very consistent driver. He's going to make Baker work hard for the lead. Now Baker moves up on the outside to take that race lead away. Robert Burke drops back to second. Michael Hickey's got into a clear third spot. In car number 10, and a long gap back to the rest of the field that are starting to battle it out for the minor placings. But it's all Alan Baker. And now Carey comes through on the inside. Wagner now tries to switch back on the inside of him. They're having a real battle for fourth spot. A big charge of cars in that battle for fourth placing. The top three have cleared away. And Carey now is in the clear fourth position. And Wagner, now here comes Wasson. He was one of the earlier winners of the night. He's come through. Oh, Wagner's gone in front of Neil Wasson. He might have got a little bit of help. And with only 4 laps left to go, the red light comes on. A little bit of body work on the track down in turn 1. And the track official quickly onto that. A little bit of body work hanging off the back of Peter Garrett's car as well. And a flat tyre for Neil Hearn, only coming off the rim. Very flat tyre. Bad luck for him. Once again, comes down to a battle of attrition. Now the black flag's going to come out. The Chief Steward's had a gutful, and he's decided he's going to start putting them on the infield. Starting with car number 14, Neil Wasson. The all-black one, he doesn't get a white stripe on it. He's just told that you will be taking no further part. Black flag to Neil Wasson. He's disappointed, he took out an earlier heat. Wagner now comes back onto the track. A little bit of body work got back onto the track off Wagner's car.
And Peter Garrett has a right-hand rear tyre that is going very flat. He'll hope for the race to get started very quickly to at least keep some heat in that tyre. Getting set for a start. Look out for our flag marshal, run fast. and Alan Baker grabs the lead at the restart, followed by Robert Burke. Now, Michael Hickey, he started to get things together in third place, and then Robert Carey coming into main straight away. Alan Baker has 3 more laps to run. Then Robert Burke, then Michael Hickey. What a big job he's done tonight. Nice to see a new face coming up in the Super Sedan ranks. Somebody who can box it on with the rest of them. Into main straight, 2 more laps left to run. And it's Alan Baker. Oh, Michael Hickey losing it a little there. And around the outside comes Robert Carey, but he'll learn. And he's going to learn the hard way by the looks of things. He's determined anyhow to race on with it. But Alan Baker will just have 1 more lap to go. Come down and take the Super Sedan feature for Hunter Communications. Robert Burke in second place, who's been very consistent, and Robert Carey and Michael Hickey, followed by Tom Wright and Al Starling. The only other runner still going is Peter Garrett. But here's the checkered flag, and it's Alan Baker's victory. Alan Baker is first. Robert Burke is second. Robert Carey is third. Michael Hickey would be happy with 4th place. Tom Wright's finished 5th. Al Starling is 6th. And Peter Garrett comes down to take the checkered flag with a flat tyre, one that's very, 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 very close to flat. So Alan Baker takes up our last race of the night tonight. Thanks very much for being with us, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We do apologise for the lateness of the evening. We hope you've enjoyed the Australian victory in the first Super Sedan Test match, and we hope you can come back on Saturday night to see if the Americans can grab a chance to get back square on the scoreboard. On behalf of Nbn Television and the management of the Wins Newcastle Motordrome, Ross Allen and Joel Allen wishing you all good night. Look forward to your company on Thursday for the sprint cars.